Didn't I say it? Didn't I say it? Meta's stock is about to rip on a heater. Here's why. The stock, formerly known as Facebook, is about to rip higher. We are looking at a crazy technical setup here, plus some external events for Facebook, aka Meta, that is going to propel this stock into the stratosphere coming up. Here's what we're looking at, and here's why it's happening. Number one, from a charting perspective, we are right at a former breakout high point. If we get through this area right here at 198, we are off to the races, and this is being fueled. 2 weeks ago, we talked about Meta's stock going on a heater, and it has happened in conjunction with the rest of the market. Let's look at now where we think the stock might go in the short term before it tops out. Looking at the technicals here in TradingView for Meta stock, we are wanting to move this 170 basement or floor, move it up into a new level because we have broken above this area and we have a new area of support right now. If you zoom in here, this is how it works. We had the old floor of 170. We're now moving that up. We're going up the elevator, boom, boom, boom. All the way up here, we've had this area right here around 193, 194, where we tapped a couple of times with these candles right on it there as well. We hit it right there 3 times, 4 times. 5th time, we topped it on the downside, and it became that floor where it doesn't want to break through. We've got another intermediary floor right here at that next little candlestick right there where it tapped it and went up as well, topping in where the top of those candlestick wicks are. And now we have the 2 hard floors. We have this one here. I'll make this one yellow. That's our kind of first floor we're going to go back and hit. And then the secondary floor, the main one, is going to be that blue line in there at 194. Now, what everyone wants to know, where is this stock going to go next? We have a pretty good breakout for the entire market overall. The last couple of days have been pretty positive, last week, in fact. But Meta's got some interesting area of support we have to take a look at. Keep in mind, RSI is hovering around that 70 area, which is kind of the top end section for Meta. We don't usually get above 70, and if you definitely get above 75, 77, it's hard to sustain that for this stock. It's not one of those ones that are super volatile that'll go up there. It likes to operate within the confounds of the RSI 70 and 30. Okay, but we're approaching it now. We're also looking at a little bit of a decrease in volume, which is a little bit concerning for this trend long term. But we've had 1, 2, 3 really good solid green candlesticks known as the 3 white soldiers, or green soldiers in this case, which is a precursor for continued movement upwards. Let's look at where this may go. Let's draw on some support lines here for the top end topping out. We have our main top end line here still hitting around that 245 mark, which is back here from February of 2022. That's the recent top out. And if it does get to there, which would take a jump in volume for sure, it would then look to close this gap between 245 and 288, which would make a lot of people happy because a lot of people missed out on this drop, or they missed out on taking profit, locking the position there, and they're going to want to sell off as it gets to 245. So I'd expect if it does approach this area for a lot of people to sell off, and if it gets around there, looking to fill this gap slowly over the course of a few months, not very quickly, in my opinion. Next up, we have a more realistic target for this stock is going to likely end up hitting. We're going to draw this in right here, open this guy up. We're going to squeeze this a little bit, come over here, come on over Beethoven. We're right there now at 211. We've got a line of support right in here. Tapped it a couple times. 1, 2. Let's go up a little bit more. Get through the wicks. We've got a couple lines here where it's tap, 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 danced around. Let's make this line. Let's take that one away. Make this line right here. Let's make this one green. So this green line, this is why we're drawing it in here. Give you guys an idea, guys and girls. We tapped it here. We're all over line here. We kind of went below it, then chopped up right around it. We tapped it again. We touched it there, touched it there. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. 6, all over it. 7 closed right below it. A little tap there on 8, 9, 10. We're just trying to look for areas where the stock intersects with a certain price point multiple times. The more times that it does that around these points, the stronger that point is potentially of resistance. If it keeps breaking through up and above and below, it's not considered a strong area of support or resistance. But this one has been touching, went below and bounced back up, bounced off, right? It's not like the stock is trading above and below this line a lot. It is using it as either a ceiling or a floor when it does cross over. So that gives me an idea that this is going to be an area of interesting support and demand when we get to it, which is hopefully next week, 217. That is what I'm looking at for where this stock may go, which is a $6, $5 move from where we're at right now, which would be a tidy little profit if you're playing straight up buying the stock. If you're using options to sell or buy, you can sell puts, you can buy calls, you can do whatever you like. Just understand that theta works against you if time is ticking by and it's not moving in your direction. We might take a little bit of a breather here. It's hard to say, but generally this pattern, 1, 2, 3 white soldiers gives us It happened right here, 1, 2, 3. Usually that proceeds with another white soldier or the trend continues, but we'll see what happens. It's actually mimicking this trend right here, 1, 2, 3, 4 with a little bit of a gap. There's a little bit of a gap there, 1, 2, 3, and then it pulled back. Let's maybe we're in for a little bit of a pullback down to this 202, 203 level before it makes the next leg higher if there's an injection of volume, which hopefully there will be. The other intermediary area of we're going to look at for the stock to hit is going up here, and we're going to look in, and we're going to put this line in right about here. Okay, we have a couple lines that are hitting. We're going to make this one different color, make this one pink. And why are we doing this? We touched it right there. We were closing all around it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days right there. And we had this nice big strong candle with some volume there, closed and couldn't break below. We did the next day, but it was kind of jumping all around it. This candle here. So we have multiple times again where this line is being touched. So in the interim, I expect 211 to turn into, if it goes back down to retest, not retesting lower than 203, then bouncing back up towards that 211, breaking above the 217, 223 be my target, 245 the absolute high end for this in the next couple of weeks, unless there is a crazy kind of news story like the TikTok story we talked about 2 weeks ago. Other than that, I'm looking at these for my target levels for this stock. Hopefully you guys got some value of this one as well as the last one, and pay attention. Hopefully you guys made some money. If you didn't, keep tuning in. We'll keep doing these kind of videos where we're going to hopefully get them right. I'm not going to get them right every time, but it's about making the potential picks on what you think is going to happen, building in some risk management on the downside to protect your downside as well. If you're going to buy here and you're a buyer at 211, you got to have a stop loss in here, maybe at 202, 203, and let it run up into the profit zone of 223, 245 if you can. Always manage your risk as a trader, and I will catch you guys on the next one.